There's lots of stories in the press about data breaches from large multinationals, but increasingly data breaches are becoming a big issue for small business.
Now there's never been a better time to download the British Airways app.
Promised convenience, but now it's led to the very opposite. The value of the stolen data from BA could be huge. It includes customer addresses, phone numbers and credit card details. Experts told ITV News they could normally be worth £3 each, a maximum of just over £1 million. But the BA hack includes numbers on the back of cards, and that brings the potential criminal value to £9.5 million.
Welcome to Cybersecurity Demystified, where we explore the cybersecurity threats and risks that your small and medium-sized business can face and give you some easy, actionable advice to make your business more secure. My name's Ashley and I'm a small business owner who only really started taking cybersecurity seriously when my business got hacked.
And I'm Dominic. I'm using my cybersecurity experience from big corporates to help small businesses.
So Dom, this podcast we're talking about data breaches. So can you break down what that means for businesses?
Well, a data breach is when information that is expected to be kept private and confidential to the person processing that data is breached or is leaked to the public domain and is then available to either a criminal who steals it or made public for anybody to access.
I mean, the stories you hear in the press are a lot about customer data, credit cards, etc. So a business like mine, an agency which doesn't handle credit card information, how is that relevant to me? I can understand if I was a retailer.
Sure. Well, I mean, data can broadly be split into two, right? There is your customer data, as you just described, but there's also your own company data, information that is vital to the operation of your business, whether that is your own IP, your own intellectual property, or maybe that's sensitive information from you and your staff, so your salary information, your HR details, that sort of thing.
Okay. And also, I mean, when I think about customer data with my company, I'm not handling credit card information, but I have customer data in Xero and in HubSpot. I would have thought, that's not my responsibility, the security of those services, is it?
Absolutely. Data that you are holding and you are processing is your responsibility. Your customers trust you to manage the data they give you. And it doesn't have to be credit card information. PII, as defined in GDPR, is personally identifiable information. So that can be name, job title, company information,
right,
or anything else really that identifies you personally.
A lot of people are saying BA is more vulnerable because it's outsourced some of its IT work. Do you think that is the case?
It can do, because you're relying on the security of those outsourced organisations. So if their security processes aren't as good as yours, then potentially, because they've got access to the same information, the hackers might see them as an easier way in.
So this all relates into GDPR, this kind of hot topic that all businesses have had to take seriously. So the handling of data.
Data breaches have always been a serious matter, even before GDPR, and even with the CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act, which is the same thing for the Americans. That's come along and really brought it to the front of people's minds through the very large fines and punishments that companies can get for not taking good care of companies' data.
BA also stands to lose passengers' trust, and financially, fines could run into millions under new data protection rules.
And so what could some of the consequences be of having a data breach?
Well, if the data stolen is personally identifiable, usernames, emails, passwords, then you're looking at identity theft, you're looking at fraud, people perhaps accessing services such as mail with your username, with your password, and then perhaps they're purchasing things under your account and not paying for them. Perhaps they are saying things publicly under your name and leaving you liable.
So time for some solutions, Dom. What should I be considering?
Well, the first thing to consider is make sure you look after your data. Know what data you have. Know where you're keeping it. Always use reputable services. HubSpot's a great one, but it has a cost. There are cheaper services out there. You need to check those and balance that cost saving against the perhaps lower level of security that they may have.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you update all your software so that it's not open to vulnerabilities or known weaknesses.
Right, so this crosses back into what we talked about in another episode. So there is a kind of interlinking of all these things together, right?
Yeah, all of these things are connected. You can't do security in just one area. You have to be looking at the whole security landscape.
Yeah.
You also need to make sure you manage your passwords, as we talked about in a previous episode.
Any other key points?
Well, the last thing is to limit who has access to this data.
Right.
Limit the places you store it. So if everybody has access and you don't have good controls over it, the chances of somebody accidentally leaking it, or of a hacker or a cyber criminal being able to access it illegally, are massively increased. So make sure it's only available to those that need it, and it's only available in the places you want it to be. Don't store backups of all of your customer information in a text file on your hard drive, for example.
Okay, so it's time for that one-liner, Dom. What's the wrap up here? What's the key takeaway?
Understand what data you have and where it is.
Right.
And then secondly, it is to turn on all of the security features that are available to you in your application.
So thanks for listening. Dom and I are co-founders of a business called CyberAlarm. It's a burglar alarm for the internet, a cybersecurity service designed specifically for small and medium-sized businesses. And in terms of data breaches, Dom, how does the service help?
Well, we've developed a feature we're calling the GDPR token, which is a bit of information that you can store within your databases or within your files or within your data. And we'd get notified if that data is leaked into the public domain. And we can let you know that data has been breached and give you some advice on what to do next.